Hey, guess what? Bob is back, now at 106.3, playing the 80s, 90s, and whatever. Check us out, the new Bob 106.3.
And now, it's Coast Vue with Ricky Matthews. Brought to you by J. Allen Toyota and AGJ Systems and Networks on SuperTalk 103.1 FM.
Welcome to Coast Vue, the show that celebrates the men and women who are making coastal Mississippi such an amazing place to live, work, and play. Hey, you know, yesterday I had a terrific show. I really enjoyed it. First of all, Mary Graham, the president of Mississippi Gulf Coast Community College, is just a great leader. And as I said during the show, their strategic focus, not just only in the education side, which goes on to, you know, which are traditional college courses, et cetera, but in the jobs training side and the work that they're doing in that area is really important to Mississippi's economic future. And it's providing incredible job opportunities for people to be able to go from high school and learn a skill or a job trade and make, she mentioned one of the jobs she mentioned was in the diesel mechanic area where they came out making like $90,000 a year. That should get your attention. This is serious business that they're involved in. And then also had Kimberly Harris. Kimberly is what is called an aviation ordnanceman who is from Shreveport. She's been in the Navy for 9 years, focused in the area of the CBs, and she's stationed at the Gulfport CB base. And she's been all over the world. She talked about, you know, growing up in Shreveport, 88 people, you know, in her class, and that she somewhere along the way sort of got the wrong people around her and made a decision to extract herself from Shreveport and go into the Navy. And she felt like it was a little divine intervention that she ended in the Navy, which has literally taken her all over the world. And she ended up getting the Center for Security Forces Sailor of the Year award for 2021 because of her commitment to excellence. And I was really inspired talking to her. But if you missed either one of those conversations, you can go to the SuperTalk Mississippi Facebook page or the YouTube page or to supertalk.fm or to your favorite podcast platform and listen. Both were very inspiring conversations. Now let's move to my friend Adele Lyons. We'll check in with Adele, who's the CEO of the Mississippi Gulf Coast Chamber of Commerce from time to time. We go back a long way. But you know, Adele, you got a chance to meet Kimberly. The military community and their contributions to coastal Mississippi on so many levels is really kind of hard to get your head around when you think about it, whether it's retirees or people like Kimberly or leaders that are involved in the community. We're lucky to have the military community here, aren't we?
Oh, absolutely. I mean, just like you're talking is a little bit of the community standpoint, the number of volunteer hours, the activities they get involved in our community. I mean, I know at the Chamber, we have them with Seafood Fest and different events, and they love to be out into the community, and they feel very embraced by this community. They love getting to know the locals, learning the local foods and that sort of thing. But then there's the economic impact, which is huge. Not only the military personnel, active duty that live here, you mentioned retirees, the hospital, the VA, how many military come in for that, you know, just the building side of it and what they spend in our community, it's huge. And it goes back so far in this community that it's just really, it's part of the thread of the community of military personnel. I mean, if you're anywhere in Biloxi, if you get off of Highway 90, you're going to run into Keesler Air Force Base or Keesler Housing. The presence is there. You know, same thing in Gulfport. If you kind of get off some of the main Highway 90, the CB base is there. It's in the middle of town, basically. And a lot of people don't know what's behind those fences, but once you learn, it's very impressive, and we're very fortunate.
We are very fortunate, whether you're talking about the Navy, the Seabees, the Army, you think the National Guard presence, and the Coast Guard, and the training of special forces that take place at Stennis, and you know, their involvement
contractors, you know, defense contractors alone.
Ingalls.
Yes.
I mean, the reverberating impact of the military community here in coastal Mississippi. That's why, if you go back in the history of the Coast Chamber, military appreciation has been not just, you know, sort of an obligation. It's been something that's been part of the culture of the Coast Chamber for its entire existence.
Yeah, and we haven't been able to have our salute to the military event for the last couple of years. We had 40 years of salute to the military. Our last was on in 2018. 2019, we're taking a year off to sort of revamp that, refresh it, take a breather after the anniversary, and then COVID came, and we just could not have that 500 plus military retirees, active duty community leaders in the room together. That could just be crushing if that became a super spreader for what that could just do for our national defense and for those folks. But what we did do this year is a program called Pizza with a Purpose. So in the past, Salute to the Military, we've offered a dinner to say thank you and show our appreciation. And we gave some awards, and we did that at a big way, 500 plus people in a room. So we said, look, let's still show our appreciation with a meal, but how can we best get a meal to people with limited contact? And of course, we're seeing things be so much better in our community nowadays where we can come together. When we're making the plans, we didn't know that. So we have over $9,000 that we raised, and we have $15 RPM Domino's Pizza gift cards that will be given out to 500 plus military personnel on the coast. And so we're going to be doing that pretty soon. We hope to be able to get some of those out prior to Thanksgiving for folks who maybe aren't able to be off base, who maybe don't have transportation. It might not be turkey, but a pepperoni pizza is not a bad gig, And so we're super excited about it. And, we folks in the community that help support this and working with leadership on the various bases. So this is all the ones we mentioned earlier. We're going to be reaching out, making sure that it gets to them. And it's really up to the leadership of the base to decide how those get distributed. If it's a squadron that has met a certain goal, if it's individuals like Kimberly, if it's, folks who can't leave base, whatever the case will be, we just want to say thank you. And we appreciate you and enjoy one on us.
I think that's so cool. In the conversation with Kimberly yesterday, it was so, I don't know, it was special to hear the effort that they're going through at the base, especially as it relates to Brian Lamar, who's the public affairs officer there, the effort that's underway to make sure that they can have as good a Thanksgiving as possible. Because we think about it, you come from a big family. I come from a big family. Thanksgiving is a great chance for everybody to kind of get together. But a lot of these, the military folks who are here don't get to go home. I mean, their family is their military family. And to the extent that the community can reach out to them and make them feel more at home, or maybe invite some into your home. I hear many people doing that. It's terrific to have that opportunity during this time of year, because we're so thankful just in general. But man, this is a great opportunity for us to be thankful to the military community as well, isn't it?
Absolutely. And we're looking forward to getting back to a regular salute to the military where we can bring everybody together and have a speaker and say thank you in person. But in the meantime, we feel like this is a good option.
It is a good option. Look, we're coming out of the pandemic. Obviously, the pandemic is still there. The numbers are still low, and we're all praying that we don't have another rendition of COVID that causes the numbers to go back up again. Man, what a challenge it's been. But what are you hearing from your business owners and managers and people involved in the chamber about business and challenges, et cetera? Why don't we'll start this, and then we'll pick it up on the other side when we get to break. But go ahead and start the part of the process.
Well, I think what we're hearing is most people feel like they have a grasp on COVID and the regulations and what to do and how to run the business. We've had enough time to do that, unfortunately. It's still, the issue they're facing, so many of them is still employee issues. And trying to have enough staff and have people at work. And so some of that may be COVID related, that people don't want to get out, but it's really a hardship. I was in a restaurant the other day, and a friend of the owner stopped by to pick up a to-go lunch and stayed and was bussing tables and filling water glass, trying to help out her friend. And it was just interesting to watch. And she was walking around, she still had her purse on her shoulder, and she finally kind of accepted the fact I might be here for a minute, and I'm okay to be here for a minute, put her purse down, and really just started bussing tables. It's a shame. We have to be patient. Look, I'm the worst for always being in a hurry. I have to be patient when I go places that you're going to wait in line for a minute. But that's keeping our economy rolling. We particularly are looking towards shop small, and so many of these smaller facilities that Christmas holidays really make or break them from a economic impact standpoint. We have to be patient, but we still have to, be shopping in these small businesses, small restaurants, small shops, and keep the money local.
Yeah, it's tough. At my place up in the Delta in Greenwood, there's a McDonald's, and we stopped. I had my nephews Peter and Nico Bohanovich with me at the camp last weekend.
I know those
and
two whippersnappers.
Oh, they're doing great. They're wonderful kids, and just love spending time with them. And we spent a lot of time in the woods together. But anyway, we stopped at McDonald's. It took 30 minutes to get food. You don't ever, that's not here, obviously. It was up in the Delta. But we don't eat a lot of fast food in my house, so I didn't get that experience too often. But 30 minutes, you would have never thought going to a McDonald's would take 30 minutes to get your food. But they were just struggling. They were struggling with them, didn't have a full staff of people. And, we were very patient. We understood the situation, but people come in and they're just irate about it. Even after all this time, still some people don't get it. And I know that happens to local owners as well here. But let's do this. When we get on the other side, we'll continue to talk about the feedback that you're getting from businesses about coming out of the pandemic. When we come back, we'll continue our conversation with Adele Lyons, the CEO of the Gulf Coast Chamber. We'll see you after this break.
It's 2021 and J. Allen Toyota still has a lifetime warranty on all new Toyotas. They all come with Toyota Care. We've got a great rental department. We've got great used cars. We've got a parts and service department ready to help you. So when you think Toyota, think J. Allen Toyota.
If Alexa's part of your life, you've got one more way to access SuperTalk. SuperTalk Mississippi is now available on Amazon Alexa devices. Once enabled, just say, Alexa, play SuperTalk Mississippi at any time and start listening. It's that easy. Just one more way to stay informed and connected with your state. Learn more at supertalk.fm/Alexa. SuperTalk Mississippi. SuperTalk Mississippi. Now available on Amazon Alexa devices.
When COVID started, Gulf Coast Business Furniture and Supply began stocking hard-to-find PPE items. When Amazon and other mega internet companies were out of stock or inflating prices, Gulf Coast Business Furniture and Supply was providing local schools and businesses vital PPE supplies at fair prices. When your office needs PPE supplies, office furniture, or products to keep your business operating, consider Gulf Coast Business Furniture and Supply. We sell that too. Buy local.
Thousands of Bulldog fans have subscribed to the Thunder and Lightning podcast. Have you? On each episode, Brian Haydad and Joel Coleman give you an inside look at your Mississippi State Bulldogs. The Thunder and Lightning podcast is free and available on demand at supertalk.fm and on your smartphone. Just search for Thunder and Lightning on iTunes, Google Play, or anywhere you listen to podcasts. Thunder and Lightning from SuperTalk Mississippi, covering the Bulldogs like no one else. SuperTalk Mississippi.
From outer space, visitors from another world. We've had contact with bug-eyed monsters.
This is actually a flying saucer.
Flying saucer?
I'm from another planet.
Where late nights are kind of weird.
Well, they must have a reason for their visits.
The unexplained, the weird, and the downright creepy. Coast to Coast AM with George Norrie. Late nights. SuperTalk Mississippi. Feeling down? Here's your prescription for a daily dose of good news and positive vibes. Good Things with Rebecca Turner. Every afternoon, Rebecca highlights all the good things happening right here in the state you call home. Daily exposure to Good Things with Rebecca Turner may cause smiling, feelings of positivity, happiness, and even laughter. When you experience these symptoms, tell your friends to listen.
Okay.
Weekdays starting at 2 p.m. here on SuperTalk Mississippi and now on Amazon Alexa devices.
Hey, guess what? Bob is back, now at 106.3, playing the 80s, 90s, and whatever.
I get knocked down, but I get up again.
Check us out, the new Bob 106.3.
Talking to the people that help make the coast such a unique place to live. This is Coast View with Ricky Matthews on SuperTalk Mississippi Gulf Coast 103.1.
Welcome back to Coast View. We're visiting with Adele Lyons, the CEO of the Mississippi Gulf Coast Chamber of Commerce. We call it the Coast Chamber. We're going to get to this in a second, but the chamber is made up of very large businesses and very small businesses, and all points in between. They have, as we talked about earlier, military community volunteers, got a lot of people who've been involved in the chamber for many, many years, and that's what makes it tick, and it especially made it tick during COVID, when everyone has sort of pitched in to help each other out. But at the backbone of every economy is small business. And when we come back, after we get done with this conversation about what she's hearing from business owners, I want to hear more about the efforts that they're making to really get in touch with what's happening with small businesses and to honor small business. We'll come back to that in just a second. So as we were talking, I think, if you look at most studies, and this has sort of been a theme on this show, Adele, that a lot of studies, up to 40% of people are thinking about moving around, and that's because benefits packages has changed and salaries have changed, and people have had a chance to reflect, and they're not sure they want to do what they're doing now. Maybe they want to do something else, and with opportunities out there, a lot of people kind of moving around right now. I think maybe the worst is behind us, and hopefully, if we don't get another bump of COVID, things will start to settle down again, and hiring will be closer to full employment. But what's your sense of that?
Well, it's we're seeing folks who are sort of getting close to the retirement age that if it's an opportunity for them, are taking early retirement, and some of them are doing what in the past you might call sort of like a side hustle, a part-time gig. So we're seeing a little bit of that. Some folks who have some real experience doing some consulting type work that they can do all over the country, and now via Zoom and the type of technology that we use, it's very, I don't want to say easy to be a consultant. It's easy to operate logistically as a consultant, because you can have that connection and just be anywhere. And then we're also seeing, sort of the younger generation that they're looking for different things. And if a company doesn't provide them with some flexibility to be able to be off on Friday afternoons, or some more flexible hours, or if the company's maybe not involved in philanthropy or community affairs, that's what's near and dear to them, and that's where they want to work. And so if it's not here locally, we've heard this before, they'll just pack up their bags and pick a city and move, and then find a job where I would have never done that. My generation would have never done that. You had to have a job first before you even thought about packing your bags and going somewhere. So we're still seeing some of that on the coast, but you're seeing some of the larger companies that are adding positions, and folks are making the move there. There's still, some shifts going on, but it seems to be slowing down.
Well, I'm glad to hear that. I really am. And, think about it, worldwide pandemic. Think about it, where at one point the entire economy was essentially shut down, and coming back from that, the dynamics of that, man, we're in uncharted territory. And, the fact that we've been able to kind of keep things moving, and that coast of Mississippi compared to other communities has shined. I mean, it's really quite an accomplishment. I know that at a macro level, I can say that, but then at the micro level, there's still struggles that are happening, and we need to always remind ourselves that at the backbone of our community is small business. And you guys spend a lot of time focused on that, don't you?
Well, we do. We try to do that all year long, where we just we want to bring as much exposure and really talk and praise and to our small businesses, because that 65% of our membership is small, less than 10 employee businesses. We have about 970 members, so it's a fair chunk of those. It's everything from the one-person operation to, like I said, up to 10. Then there's sort of those medium companies, and then we all know the big companies, the big corporate companies that we're so lucky to have in our community. And then we talked earlier about defense contractors and those type of large companies. But, it's really the local small businesses that keep the money local, that their deposits stay at the local banks. They're making payroll. Those people are buying groceries here. where when you're dealing with a big box, and you know, we've all been there, we've all shopped in those places, and we would continue to do so, but we have to give focus to those small companies. But the big box monies go out of the area. The money just goes out of the area, more than with a small business. Let me read some numbers. Small businesses generate $68 of local economic return for every $100 spent with them. And here's what I love: if everybody would spend just $10 a month at a local business, it would return $9.3 billion directly to our economy.
Wow.
$10. Fewer businesses with fewer than 500 employees account for 99.7% of all U.S. employees.
Wow.
That's, now 500 is a larger company. I get that. But the one that I really always come back to is small businesses donate 250% more than large businesses to community causes. We've all sold a raffle ticket. We've all tried to get silent auction items for whatever nonprofit we're involved with, whatever cause we're involved with, whatever baseball team, etc. And it's the small company that's giving you that $10 gift card, that's giving you the necklace and the earrings, put in the silent auction, that et cetera, down the line. And it's those companies that give to your kids' baseball team, and that's why you need to be shopping there and spending your money with those local small companies.
Yeah, when you go do that Amazon.com, purchase, it might seem convenient, but the reverberating impact of that, if you're able to buy it locally, is very significant. And small businesses just ask that you give them an opportunity. The service they're willing to put behind it, the specialty items they're able to bring to the table. Man, there's so many great shops here in coastal Mississippi that bring very unique items, and take a minute and focus on that. Go to downtown Gulfport and walk around, and go to Ocean Springs or Bay St. Louis or Biloxi, and take it all in, and try to just make a double your commitment to buying locally when you can, because it can really make a huge difference, can it?
Yeah, and we can't do it all the time. I get that. Sometimes financially it doesn't make sense for you. Sometimes time-wise it doesn't make sense. But just being mindful of it is the main thing that we ask people be mindful. So Saturday, November 27th is Shop Small Saturday. So we all know the Black Friday, and then now we've got Cyber Monday. So right smack in between there is Small Business Saturday. And American Express started this years ago, and it's become a huge national event. Where we encourage you on that Saturday. Now, of course, we love for you to shop all the time, like we've been talking about. The Pass Christian Chamber, is doing a passport program where they've got a little card, and if you spend $1 or $5 or $10 or $20, you get your stamps. And at the end, you can drop in your card, and we're doing drawings for gift cards from those very businesses. And that's everything from Pass Christian Books, which is a great store right there on Highway 90 overlooking the beach. Pass Christian Olive Oil Company. I don't know if you've ever been in there with all the flavored olive oils. Fabulous.
One of my favorite.
Yeah, that one's really cool. Also there's the bookstore, the coffee house, and then there's a new business over in Pass Christian. We just went at a ribbon cutting. Denise Hopkins Fine Art, great little art gallery with some really nice things. Just walking around Pass Christian for the day, shopping, getting a few things here and there. Might be a win for you. Might be some gift cards that come back as a win for you. So we're doing that from November 19th to December 15th, and just trying to have people pop into these businesses.
What are some other big events coming in the small time we have left?
Well, we've got our pre-legislative briefing coming up on November 30th. That's a great event where we have some of our coast delegation in that will answer questions about the upcoming legislative session. Just big article yesterday about what the governor's looking at for the budget. So lots of questions there, and sort of hear what those folks have to say. That's at the Golden Nugget on November the 30th in the morning. We've got Chamber After 5 on November the 18th on Thursday today at Coast Episcopal. So that's from 5 to 7. They also have an art gallery there. You can come out and see some art, have some food and drink. And Mayor Jimmy Rafferty in Pass Christian been in office about 6 months. We've got breakfast with the mayor with him on Friday, November the 19th at the Pastor Christian Yacht Club. So still a lot going on before the end of the year. We do have Mayor Gillich giving a report on December the 3rd at Edgewater Mall. I'm going to pop in and hear what Fofo has to say of what's going on. So still lots of things before we end the year.
Wow, busy. There's never rest for the weary when you're in the chamber business, is there?
Well, hopefully you get a little bit over Christmas, but you're right. For the most part, it's you got to keep on keeping on.
Well, look, I look forward to visiting with you for a few minutes next week just to hear what Thanksgiving has to say with you on our kind of special Thanksgiving program that's going to be Wednesday. But until then, Adele, thank you for coming back and just visiting with me and giving us an update of what you guys are up to these days.
Yeah, thanks so much. Good to see you.
You too. Have a great day. And don't have a great day. We'll see you after this break. Paige Roberts from the Jackson County Chamber is going to be joining me. We'll see you after this break.
Listen live or on demand and watch episodes of Coast Vue on your laptop, desktop, or on your phone or tablet by going to supertalkmsgulfcoast.com.
Hey, guess what? Bob is back, now at 106.3, playing the 80s, 90s, and whatever.
I get knocked down, but I get up again.
Check us out, the new Bob 106.3.
Feeling down? Here's your prescription for a daily dose of good news and positive vibes. Good Things with Rebecca Turner. Every afternoon, Rebecca highlights all the good things happening right here in the state you call home. Daily exposure to Good Things with Rebecca Turner may cause smiling, feelings of positivity, happiness, and even laughter. When you experience these symptoms, tell your friends to listen.
Okay.
Weekdays starting at 2 p.m. here on SuperTalk Mississippi and now on Amazon Alexa devices.
Hey, South Mississippi, the future has arrived. It's 2021, and at J. Allen Toyota, we're here to serve you. Want to let you know that we have Allen's lifetime warranty on every new Toyota we sell. That also comes with Toyota Care. That's 2 years and 25,000 miles of complimentary maintenance. We have a great rental department. Our service department's ready to take care of your current vehicle. We're rolling out J. Allen certified pre-owned for 2021. You got to come to I-10 exit 38 right here in Gulfport. You're going to love what we have to offer. When you think Toyota, think Allen Toyota.
Get the scoop on what happened in college football and what to expect in the NFL. Each Sunday on Sports Sunday with Michael Borky. Get the story behind the stats, 8 to 10 a.m. on SuperTalk Mississippi, supertalk.fm, and watch the show on supertalk.tv. SuperTalk Mississippi. We're more than just words. This is where the story of your state is told. Proud to cover the Magnolia State like nobody else. SuperTalk Mississippi.
When COVID started, Gulf Coast Business Furniture and Supply began stocking very hard-to-find PPE items to make our community a safer place. When Amazon and other mega internet companies were out of stock or inflating prices, Gulf Coast Business Furniture and Supply was providing local schools and businesses vital PPE supplies at fair prices. They were even sending thousands of dollars of PPE supplies free to local schools in need with help from other local business leaders. The next time your office needs PPE supplies, office furniture, or products to keep your business operating, consider a local company that supports your ball teams, cheerleaders, and area homeless. Consider Gulf Coast Business Furniture and Supply, the local guys that keep your prices fair, your service and selection excellent, and your health our business. Gulf Coast Business Furniture and Supply. We sell that too. Buy local.
SuperTalk Mississippi.
From outer space, visitors from another world. We've had contact with bug-eyed monsters.
This is actually a flying saucer.
Flying saucer?
I'm from another planet.
Where late nights are kind of weird.
Well, they must have a reason for their visit.
The unexplained, the weird, and the downright creepy. Coast to Coast AM with George Norrie. Late nights. SuperTalk Mississippi.
Hey, I'm Steve Azar, and you never know who or what you'll hear
when I spend a Mississippi Minute with my friends. Talking to Paul Thorne, Mississippi true treasure, really incredible recording artist, singer, songwriter, has been doing it a long time, doing it the right way.
It's almost like a Forrest Gump thing because I was a boxer, / I worked in a furniture factory, / I had a gig 2 nights a week playing my acoustic guitar in a pizza restaurant, / I was in the National Guard. And,
wow.
All this stuff was going on at the same time. / I had a writing contract with Rick Hall and Fame.
In a Mississippi Minute. Be sure to check out In a Mississippi Minute with me, Steve Azar, right here on SuperTalk Mississippi, the SuperTalk Mississippi app, and now available on iTunes, Google Play, and Stitcher.
For something new and unique in talk radio, take a listen to The Ben Shapiro Show. Every day, we're driving the debate in America with the fastest moving, hardest hitting, most comprehensive, fact-based commentary on the radio. We don't hold back. We never shy away from telling you the truth. Our show is a meeting place of ideas. We have the most important guests and the biggest thinkers in America.
Weeknights at 9.
For something new and unique in talk radio, take a listen to The Ben Shapiro Show.
On SuperTalk Mississippi.
SuperTalk Mississippi.
Just seems to me people have so much invested in not telling the truth.
When you want the truth.
Simply because it might hurt some feelings.
And nothing but the truth.
Lose some subscribers.
You want the Gallo Radio Show.
I just think in this audience, you still believe that if you tell the truth, you come out ahead.
The Gallo Radio Show.
And if you tell yourself otherwise, you're lying to yourself.
Mornings on SuperTalk Mississippi. Hey, guess what? Bob is back, now at 106.3, playing the 80s, 90s, and whatever.
I get knocked down, but I get up again.
Check us out, the new Bob 106.3. And now, it's Coast Vue with Ricky Matthews. Brought to you by J. Allen Toyota and AGJ Systems and Networks on SuperTalk 103.1 FM.
Welcome back to Coast Vue. As you will always hear me say, when I check in with chamber leaders here in coastal Mississippi, they're important conversations. So when I have the opportunity to meet with Adele, and she talks about their focus on small business. I mean, listen, the Coast Chamber, the Jackson County Chamber, the Ocean Springs Chamber, the Hancock County Chamber, all the chambers here in coastal Mississippi are focused on a wide range of businesses. But you'll always hear the conversation kind of come back to the reality that the backbone of our economy is small business. The other part of my conversation with Adele that was so incredibly important is the whole discussion about the military and how they touch this community in so many different ways, whether it's through defense contractors or whether it's through a single enlisted person's volunteerism in the community. We are touched by the military community in so many different ways. And as we approach Thanksgiving next week, we got to remember that so many of those people aren't able to go home for the holidays. And, just keep them in our thoughts and prayers. Some people actually invite some of the military community into their homes for Thanksgiving. I love to hear those stories. But anyway, great conversation with Adele. So let's now shift gears and move over to my friend Paige Roberts, who's the president and CEO of the Jackson County Chamber, and just say good morning. How you doing?
Good morning. I'm great. Thanks, Ricky.
Good to see you. You got did you paint your wall? Was it always blue in the back, or is that
yes, new? but my walls are different colors. I have this color on a wall and a half, and then I have a lighter color that's a light blue, kind of gray, on 2.5 walls, because I just love color. So I put as much of it in here as possible.
What we're looking at is kind of this deep, almost cobalt blue wall behind Paige for the radio audience, and it feels like a movie set. It's actually it's one of my favorite colors, I might add. It's a very, very pretty. You can see the backlighting that I have is a very similar color.
Yes. Well, and they say that blue is the most comforting color. I look into the psychology of colors also.
Yeah, I agree. So there's a reason why it is the color of a police, light. And
interesting.
That we know that that we see that and we're aware of it quicker. A lot of science went behind that.
Yeah. So absolutely.
Yeah.
Colors, scents, all of our senses are are connected to our brain and our hearts, and people just don't realize it.
That's why a red light is a red light. Red means something. It means danger, or beware, etc.
Yes.
So anyway,
and don't hold it in front of a bull.
Yeah. Oh, don't, for sure. Yeah. Ann and I went to a bullfight once down in Mexico. We got about halfway through and said, "Oh, this is too brutal for us. We're leaving." But I was an Ernest Hemingway fan, so I spent a lot of time reading about his, matadors and his books, and it was all this He-Man stuff. But it was just some really great writing. I was just curious about the culture of it all, and I get the culture, but very brutal, tough to watch a bullfight, an actual bullfight.
A lot of testosterone between the bull and the matador.
There is that. And some blood, I might too. Sometimes from both of them.
Yeah,
anyway, good thing we don't have that on the coast.
Right.
So how you guys doing? Let's talk for just a second. Adele and I talked about this just a few minutes ago, but you heard me mention about the military community. Mm-hmm. Man, are we lucky to have such a wide array of military impact here in coastal Mississippi, aren't we?
Oh, we are. And one branch of the military that people often don't remember as much is the Coast Guard. And we still have a Coast Guard station here in Pascagoula on the island, Naval Station Pascagoula's island here in Pascagoula. So, they're keeping our waters safe.
Yeah, as a boatman, as someone who spends a lot of time offshore, we hear Naval Station Pascagoula all the time on the radio on 16. Man, the work that they do to protect us, and they have also a strategic mission to protect the coast. That's how people know the Coast Guard for generally. But anyway, yeah, we're lucky. And then you think about Ingalls and all the ancillary connections to Ingalls, and even Chevron, the strategic value of Chevron. Boy, man, it's significant.
Oh, sure, fuel. Absolutely. We are so blessed on this coast. And then, as you know, in Harrison County, the Seabees, which I didn't know. I never heard of the construction battalion group until I moved here to Mississippi.
Mm-hmm, for sure. Well, you moved here. You were actually a reporter at one point in your life, weren't you?
I was. That's how I got here from the University of Missouri School of Journalism. They had a nice little pipeline to WLOX. They still have several Mizzou grads there, and that was almost 29 years ago.
Time flies.
It's painful. It's painful.
Time flies when you're having fun. Yeah, I had to remind myself, because I think you and I have talked about this before, but inside I feel young. I feel young. I feel young physically, to be honest with you.
Well, you're in good shape.
I had the benefit of my wisdom. I had the benefit of my wisdom and my years of being involved in the community, and that helps me in this role at Coast Vue. But at the end of the day, man, when I'm with my grandkids, I'm as happy just playing on the floor with them and doing those kind of things. And when I'm in that moment, I feel like one of them. And I think, gosh, there's a lot to be said for being young at heart,
Well, and I also have heard, I am not a grandparent myself, but that's really a phenomenon, I think, the whole the grandparent experience. I mean, you can speak more to it, but I look at your photos of you and Mila and the other grandchildren on Facebook, and the look of joy and love and wonder that just emanates from your photos alone, and plus watching my own children with their grandparents, it's just a beautiful relationship.
Yeah, it really is. And for us, with our challenge with Mila earlier this year, every day's Thanksgiving for us. That's the way I look at it. Every time a memory photo pops up and Mila's in the picture, I just go, oh my goodness, thank God
that we almost lost her. Right.
That we're in this moment, So anyway, so how is life these days at the Jackson County Chamber?
Well, it's good. It's busy. We're, continuing to have business after hours, ribbon cuttings. We have some this week, in fact. And at the same time, working with the variety of public and private entities who have made it on the short list, from the Gulf Coast Restore Funding Committee to the legislators, and continuing to advocate for those projects, which have been so meaningful in the past 3 years, that we continue to use that as a win for Jackson County.
You know, every time I turn around, it seems like I'm having a conversation with someone. Something comes up that involves downtown Pascagoula, whether we're talking about mixed use or whether we're talking about corporate involvement in the community. I mean, real serious engagement in the community through things like the Economic Development Foundation. Even in my conversation with Julian Rankin, when he was talking about the art project and
yes,
the new distinction of the historic downtown area, you know.
Yes.
Julian, I saw, you know, for this radio audience, you saw this wonderful, you know, thank goodness we have Julian in the community, but what a gem of a person. You know, Julian, executive director.
Down everything that man says, because he speaks so poetically. He is just an artist through and through. And I am so proud to have a partnership with him, because he was willing to come up off the physical ground of the museum and move that mission into the rest of Jackson County. And it has resulted in this downtown art project in Pascagoula with the high school students. And it's going to be, these sculptures are going to be unbelievable.
Well, Julian Rankin, for people who don't know the name, is the executive director for the Walter Anderson Museum of Art. And he's written a book before that took place in the Mississippi Delta. He's worked at the I guess it was the State Museum of Art
in Mississippi.
But what's incredible about Julian is his ability to articulate the connection between art and community and sense of place and why that matters. And the way he talked about the art project in Jackson County, you think about in Jackson County sort of being this industrial base, and you think about metal and welding and all these things, and then this outreach from the Walter Anderson Museum to connect the industrial base to kids in high school, to something that's going to emanate downtown from that effort, from that creative effort. It means something, doesn't it?
Oh, it's so meaningful. This has been one of my favorite projects that we have come up with. And thank you to all the community donors, especially Mississippi Power, for the grant to make this happen.
It's very cool. I tell you what we'll do when we get on the other side of the break. We'll make sure people hear what it is that's going to come from this effort, and then we'll find out what's on your sort of agenda these days, specifically related to the chamber. When we come back, we'll continue our conversation with Paige Roberts.
You can also listen live to SuperTalk Mississippi Gulf Coast 103.1 on your Amazon Alexa devices. Once you've enabled the skill, just say, Alexa, open SuperTalk Mississippi Gulf Coast.
Hey, guess what? Bob is back, now at 106.3, playing the 80s, 90s, and whatever.
I get knocked down, but I get up again.
Check us out, the new Bob 106.3.
Hey, South Mississippi, it's Jay Allen at Jay Allen Toyota, and I got something new for you for 2021. It's the Jay Allen Certified Collection. What that means is we selected our very best inventory with under 75,000 miles, and they're 6 years old or newer. That comes with a multi-point inspection, a 10-year, 100,000-mile warranty, and a 3-day buyback guarantee. So come check out the Jay Allen Certified Pre-Owned Collection right here, I-10 exit 38 in Gulfport, or on allentoyota.com.
When COVID started, Gulf Coast Business Furniture and Supply began stocking hard-to-find PPE items. When Amazon and other mega internet companies were out of stock or inflating prices, Gulf Coast Business Furniture and Supply was providing local schools and businesses vital PPE supplies at fair prices. When your office needs PPE supplies, office furniture, or products to keep your business operating, consider Gulf Coast Business Furniture and Supply. We sell that too. Buy local.
SuperTalk Mississippi, your new home for the Ben Shapiro Show.
We don't hold back. We never shy away from telling you the truth.
The most electrifying national talk show on air today.
We have the most important guests and the biggest thinkers in America.
Ben Shapiro, brutally breaking down the issues of the day.
From politics to pop culture, we take a look at all of it. So don't miss out.
Weeknights at 9.
For something new and unique in talk radio, take a listen to The Ben Shapiro Show.
On SuperTalk Mississippi.
SuperTalk Mississippi.
Just seems to me people have so much invested in not telling the truth.
When you want the truth.
Simply because it might hurt some feelings.
And nothing but the truth.
Lose some subscribers.
You want the Gallo Radio Show.
I just think in this audience, you still believe that if you tell the truth, you come out ahead.
The Gallo Radio Show.
And if you tell yourself otherwise, you're lying to yourself.
Mornings on SuperTalk Mississippi.
Thousands of Bulldog fans have subscribed to the Thunder and Lightning podcast. Have you? On each episode, Brian Haydad and Joel Coleman give you an inside look at your Mississippi State Bulldogs. The Thunder and Lightning podcast is free and available on demand at supertalk.fm and on your smartphone. Just search for Thunder and Lightning on iTunes, Google Play, or anywhere you listen to podcasts. Thunder and Lightning from SuperTalk Mississippi, covering the Bulldogs like no one else.
Hey, I'm Steve Azar, and you never know who or what you'll hear when I spend a Mississippi Minute with my friends. We're talking to Adele Berra. Take me back to growing up and what it was like in the household with a dad like Yogi Berra.
You know, we grew up with his funny sayings. You know, I remember Dad managing the Mets, and me, Larry, and Timmy are watching the game on TV. And all of a sudden, two streakers run out of the stands on TV, and the camera flips away from them. So when he gets home, me, Larry, and Timmy say, "Hey, Dad, those streakers, what were they, boys or girls? We need to know." And Dad looked us right in the eye and said, "I couldn't tell. They had bags over their heads."
In a Mississippi Minute.
Be sure to check out In a Mississippi Minute with me, Steve Azar, right here on SuperTalk Mississippi, the SuperTalk Mississippi app, and now available on iTunes, Google Play.
Hey, guess what? Bob is back, now at 106.3, playing the 80s, 90s, and whatever.
I get knocked down, but I get up again.
Check us out, the new Bob 106.3.
Talking to the people that help make the coast such a unique place to live. This is Coast Vue with Ricky Matthews on SuperTalk Mississippi Gulf Coast 103.1.
Welcome back to the final segment of Coast Vue. I have Paige Roberts, the president and CEO of the Jackson County Chamber. And when we went to break, we were sort of effusively excited about actually this whole notion of partnerships that emanate in the community. And you think about Paige Roberts and others in the Pascagoula area, Jackson County area, partnering with the Walter Anderson Museum through Julian Rankin to develop this art project that's going to play out in downtown Pascagoula. Tell us more about what do you expect the outcome to be?
Sure. The outcome is 3 sculptures welded and designed by students along with professional artists and professionals from the various artistries like carpentry and welding and such, marketing and business. And the students have taken input from the residents of Pascagoula, and they are coming up with the design. And Julian probably shared the first one is building blocks, and each block has the zip code on one side, and then on another side is GOULA for Gula, and then there's a photo like a gull for G and OR for O, a UFO for U, a lighthouse for L, and an anchor for A. And then on the fourth side is the military flag, the Navy flag that matches those letters. And it's going to be 15 feet tall at the entrance, what we consider the gateway at Delmas and Pascagoula Street into downtown. There is a mock-up of it in their downtown studio that they've been using, and it's just so great.
And the distinction of the historic district, what a great step.
Yes, the Scranton district. Yes.
Tell us more about that. Yeah.
Sure. Well, it's economic development all day long. One of our developers here that you and I both know, Ricky, is working on a building in downtown Pascagoula and Delmas, and I think the historic tax credits are something like $300,000 to $350,000. That's the monetary equivalent of the value of what these historic district designations can mean for a downtown.
Very, very significant. So when you got up this morning, what kind of things were you thinking about to make the chamber more relevant?
Absolutely getting to where the needs are. And I started the day at an area council meeting, the one that we have every month in Ocean Springs, listening to what's going on in their community and what their needs are and their ideas and dreams, and then also sharing how we can leverage our resources to make that a reality. Roxy Condry, who you and I have spoken about before, talked about their project, The Collective, which is intended to bring more of Porter Avenue alive in downtown Ocean Springs. I just cannot stress enough relationships. And so when you ask me what I wake up thinking about, it's what relationships don't we have? How can we be nurturing the ones we do have? And how can it benefit our community as a whole?
So you and I came over there a month or two ago, and we took a tour of downtown Pascagoula. And you showed me the various mixed-use projects that are under construction, literally, as we walked around. How are those? I guess they're coming to fruition, huh?
Yes, several are done. The smaller ones with 3 to 5 residences in them with mixed use, and they're all rented. The city center is the big one. This is going to be the big tell because there are 28 residential apartments in that building, and that should come to completion sometime at the end of March. But it's exciting to see the people move in. There's a couple that just moved here from Asheville, North Carolina, that rented one of the apartments. So it's exactly what we have wanted, young, vibrant professionals living downtown, and then bringing there's going to be a new home decor store, and there's a brand new women's clothing boutique that just opened. I, of course, love it because I get to shop on the job.
Of course. And then, you have great restaurants already. More restaurants will come.
Yes.
This whole notion, it's just amazing. Andres Duany, the father of New Urbanism, was right when he said many, many years ago when he wrote the book on New Urbanism that, what had happened, serendipity had led us all into these sort of, suburban lives, and that we took away the life of downtown. And it took a while. I mean, we talked a lot about this after Hurricane Katrina, but we weren't in the mindset. We were just trying to get back to life. We were just trying to get rebuilt. But here we are 16 years later, beginning to sort of have significant conversations about bringing life back to downtown. It's going to make a big difference, isn't it?
Oh, absolutely. And the successes we're experiencing in Pascagoula, we've started those same balls rolling in Moss Point, focused on their riverfront capacity for development there. Julian Rankin and I are working with Mississippi Power on an art project for Moss Point. So yeah, it's exciting because it can be replicated everywhere.
It really can be. Paige, it's been great to check in with you. We'll talk to you again next week and talk a little bit more about Thanksgiving and what it means to you. But for the time being, this is Paige Roberts, the President and CEO of the Jackson County Chamber. Have a great day.
Thanks.
Follow SuperTalk Mississippi Gulf Coast 103.1 on Facebook. Facebook.com/SuperTalk MS Coast 103.1.